Welcome. This is my Shadow Warrior class where I combine meditation, movement, and shadow work all together. So we're going to begin by coming down to our backs with a mindful meditation, going into the body, centering and becoming aware of the spine and the nervous system. What I've noticed a lot of times as a trainer is that it can be difficult to actually feel your body, and especially something as subtle as your spine and what is going on within your core, your breath, your diaphragms. So that's really honestly where I have found a lot more of awareness, mindfulness, and really transformation in my body. And I've alleviated all kinds of energetic blocks because of this. So I'm hoping that I can share this with you and that this will help you find awareness in your own body. So we are going to come on down to our backs. And now that you're on your spine, let your shoulders be heavy. Let them melt into the floor. We tend to have rolled shoulders, rounded shoulders from sitting and from just gravity. So what's really lovely is that we can use the floor to imprint our body. Now, I am a tactile learner, so if you are one too, take your hands to the top of your sternum at the middle of your collarbones, and then just sort of slide your hands across your collarbones. This is a really great way to massage the tightness around the scalenes and the neck muscles, the SCM. And this is also a great way to release tension in the chest. And then start to slide your hands to the front of your shoulders and see if you can massage from your collarbones out to the edges of your shoulders. And this is a great way to teach your own body what it means to smile the collarbones. And you'll notice you might have more space now in the shoulder sockets. Okay, now you can take your hands down with your palms facing up. And note and see if your thumbs can rotate out to the edges so that your arms, your shoulders are in external rotation. And then feeling the sensation of your spine between your shoulder blades, sinking between the shoulder blades, and then your shoulder blades reaching down your back. This is what I call anchoring or stabilizing your shoulder blades. And then start to check with the rest of your spine. So your low ribs, keeping them down. And then your sacrum. Your sacrum is right above your tailbone, at the back of your pelvis. And just let the weight of your sacrum sink into the floor. Your heels nice and heavy. And then your inner thighs are spaced about the distance of your sitting bones. And they're slightly activated. Most of the day, we don't really use our inner thighs. So I really like to find ways to activate them whenever possible. So this is where we have created the neutral spine, the imprint. And with your eyes closed and your awareness in your spine, start to notice if there are imbalances. We tend to have one side of our hip be more grounded. It's very common. So notice that here. One side of the sacrum could be lower. And when that's the case, the low ribs, the back ribs, will also be altered. So just noticing the curves of your body. And understand that it is not about obtaining a perfect body or perfect alignment. It is simply about awareness, starting to understand how your body works and how strong it is. To be a warrior means to embrace your power. And from the mind, the discipline of the mind, we are then capable of creating more strength in the body. So today's mantra or intention is that Qi follows Yi. Qi energy follows Yi, mind. So now that we have arrived into our spine, let's begin deepening the breath. As you inhale, expand your lungs into your rib cage like an open parachute. And as you exhale, let yourself sink down even more. Inhale, expand your lungs to hug your heart. Exhale, sink even more. Now, as you inhale, you can imagine that the breath is moving down your spine. And as you exhale, it moves up. I like to imagine a balloon. And slow your breath, ideally to a count of 5 or more. And notice when you inhale, if your low back begins to arch. Instead, keep the weight in your low ribs, your back ribs. And when you inhale, expand the back ribs, stretching the muscles between each rib, called the intercostal muscles. So when we learn how to breathe expansively, we will begin to stretch those muscles between the ribs. And we'll have a much rounder breath. And I'm just going to count to help ease your mind into discipline of breath. As you inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, expand the back ribs down your spine to your hips. 4, 5. Exhale, up from the hips, up your spine, back ribs down. 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that you've arrived into your parasympathetic nervous system, your calm center, begin to notice your mind. Notice the types of thoughts that may arise. Are they negative or positive? Are they focused on others or on yourself? And are they loud or are they quiet? This is meditation. We witness the mind, but we do not judge, and we do not try to create an identity of ourself based on these thoughts. Now, in the world of spirituality, there is what we call the channel. When we have enough discipline to still the mind, to quiet the mind through witnessing, and we're quiet enough that we can start to hear other voices, other channels. And if you hear those voices, ask yourself what they're saying. This is the gift of mindfulness, of intuition. Now we will begin to move the body with this awareness of the mind. Remember that qi follows yi. So as we move today, I'm going to ask certain questions to help you witness your own mind. And then to discipline the mind through affirmations to create a positive energy, higher frequencies. All right, start with taking your arms up and back by your ears. Keep the arms parallel. Keep your low ribs down. This is how we work our core while reaching through our shoulders. Keeping that imprint on the floor. Take an inhale here. And exhale, reach the arms forward. Keep your shoulder blades on the mat as you reach the arms by your side. 2 more times. Inhale, reach it back. Keep those low ribs down. Exhale, forward. Keep your breath nice and elongated. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take your arms down, but your palms still facing up. And reach the shoulder blades down your back. Anchor them in. And start by curling your tailbone up, using your glutes to squeeze slightly. We call this north. And then reach your sit bones forward. Your sacrum comes up. This is called south. And just move from north to south. Keep your eyes closed as you sense your body. The weight of your heels, keeping them equal. The goal of this is to isolate your pelvis. So not to really use your back, not to lift your ribs up, but just working your glutes and the inner thighs. You might be able to feel your pelvic floor as you feel the tissue below your waistband pulling down as you move into north. It's very subtle. That's why I like to use the word tissue. It's not really like a squeeze. It's more of a slight tightening. Okay, let's go into north and then move up into bridge by rolling up the low back, mid back, and then stay on your shoulder blades. This is how we create the flexion in the thoracic spine. And then from your low body, you're using your glutes to help you lift your pelvis. And we're going to go north-south here. So curl the tail, and then south sit bones, reach forward and down. North pubic bone towards navel. South sit bones reach down. Good. So again, we're really isolating the pelvis here. Keep your ribs, upper body really stable. Keep the evenness of your feet rooting down. All right, now hold the hips and then reach a little bit more neutral by reaching your sit bones between your knees. Lengthening the knees forward as you squeeze your lower glutes towards your hamstrings. And then we'll go side to side like a seesaw. So start with your right hip reaching up, and then switch your left hip reaching up. So you're kind of isolating one glute at a time. And your glute should be feeling this. This is one of my favorite ways to start class because we live in a very sedentary society, and it's one of the major causes of chronic illness. And if we can all just do more of these bridges and glute work, our bodies would feel stronger. And when we empower strength into our body, we are saying no to illness. We are saying no to disease when we empower ourselves. When you mentally just say no to anything that weakens you. Remember, chi follows yi. What are you telling yourself right now in your mind? Notice your thoughts. And are they passive, or are you being proactive by choosing to think that you are strong, that you can keep going? Just notice and witness for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Go ahead and roll down your spine onto the sacrum. Good. Keep your sacrum flat. Weight down into your femurs, your hip sockets. This is how we turn on the core. Feel the tightness around your cylinder from your pelvis to your ribs. And then take one heel up to hover and bring it down. Keep your pelvis super still. Bring the other heel up and hover without moving anything else. And then let's do both heels. Good. Bring your knees over your hip joints and then tabletop your legs. All right. You can go ahead and kind of blink the eyes open a little here. Still feel the awareness, the consciousness of your spine, and continue to witness your mind as you move. Let's start by toe taps with knee folds. One foot taps down, the other foot taps down. You're keeping the pelvis super still. This is how the core is meant to be utilized. With this kind of mindful practice, you have more discipline in your mind. You are then proving to yourself that you can reprogram your mind and that you can become empowered. Let's toe tap for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold tabletop. Let's take both legs together and then tap. Now again, keep those hips stable. Pelvis does not change. Tap. Smile your collarbones. Keep your low ribs down. And feel your pelvic floor lifting, drawing in to draw the tissue down away from your waistband. Say hello, core. Hello, my abdominal corset. For 4, 3, keep squeezing the legs together. 2, and 1. Good. Take your knees into your hands. Keep your sacrum flat. as you circle the knees. Just rotating into the hip joints. Switch direction, other way. See if you can quiet the mind here. All right, we're going to bring the feet flat again. And then start with the pelvis staying grounded as we open one hip at a time. So start with left hip, open up, and keep the pelvis flat as you bring the leg in and out, in and out. And you might need, if you don't have a mirror, you can always look at your body. Make sure that the center leg is not shifting. This is where we have to weight down that side of the pelvis more to counterweight. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch sides. Other hip, open and close. So we're turning on the hip abductor, and we're using the inner thigh to come up. So we're waking up the inner thigh, outer thigh. We're creating more mobility in the hip joint. This is just a prep for a bigger range of motion. For 4, 3, focus on the pelvis, staying grounded. For 2, and for 1. Okay, now we take the feet together and see if the soles of your feet can touch. Now, lengthen through the spine, sacrum heavy. We're going to take the legs up into a diamond and then tap and lift. Tap and lift. Good. So we're really focusing on the tightness of your core by paying attention to your spine, and then also just really creating structure, movement in the hips. This is really great for working the back of the legs too. As we work through the feet. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now this is my favorite. It's called butterfly bridge. Bring your feet down. Now press into your feet to lift your hips. Oh yeah, hello hip flexors. So this is a great stretch for the hips, and you're strengthening your glutes. And just stay here as you lengthen through your spine, weighted in your shoulder blades. Sink your sternum, the top of your sternum down as you reach the sit bones forward between your knees. Take 1 inhale and open mouth exhale. Great. Go ahead and roll yourself down. Take both knees into your chest. And we'll just start by rocking and rolling up and down the spine. Take your hands behind your legs. And then rock and roll a few times. We're massaging the back. All the way to the shoulder blades, all the way to the pelvis, and then arrive onto your sitting bones, holding half boat. Now you definitely want to think about lifting the tissue away from your waistband to find your core, supporting you even more. Good. Strength is in length. It's all about your spine. In yoga, the reason why we feel so good after doing yoga is because we are working along the spine, which is the energetic channel to our chakras. So we open our chakras when we're doing a yoga class, which is a method of becoming empowered by bringing in light, by bringing in positive energy and releasing the negative. We're only here for a few more breaths. You can take your hands off your legs to feel more challenged. Keep your legs together. Think about focusing on your strength, your power. You are strong. One more breath here. Create length, be proud, feel proud. Exhale, cross your knees, cross your ankles, come into tabletop position. All right, let's do some cat-cows. Cat-cows are meant to help create flexibility in your spine, to warm up through flexion and extension. So we'll start with flexion. Curl your tail and your head down as you press your back body to the ceiling. Inhale, extend the spine, reach your crown and sit bones away from each other as you lengthen the front body. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Continue moving through. And remember to live in your spine. Be aware of what's happening, the sensations. That's why I call this a moving meditation, because we're so mindful of our own body and our mind. There's a nice affirmation here of releasing negative energy, any energetic blocks, right? Letting go of what holds us back from being empowered. All right, we're going to go into some bird dog. Start with your left leg reaching back and your right arm reaching forward. And then hover these off the floor. Check in with your spine. Now that we don't have the floor to imprint, we want to still connect our low ribs up and the waistband up. Take one inhale here. Exhale, bring the hand and leg down, tabletop position. Start sliding the right leg back, left arm forward, take them off the ground, find your spine. Imagine that floor is on your back. You want to imprint your low ribs. Draw your waistband up. Create length from the back of your head and your sacrum. And exhale. Bring the body down. All right, we're going to a nice little rotation. Start with the left arm reaching up to the sky. Good. And then thread the needle. Take your ear to the floor, your hips stay up, and then your other arm is going to go forward by your ear. Good. If you want to have more fun, more challenge, you can take your right leg back, just like we did earlier, just a second ago. Balancing, finding your center. Use your core. And then exhale, bring the leg down, slide the hand in. Inhale the arm up to the sky, find that rotation and keep it there. We're going to circle the arm back 3 times. Backstroke, 3, 2, full range, and 1. We'll switch sides. Inhale the right arm up, open the chest, and exhale, thread the needle. Taking your ear down, slide the other arm forward, and then option to take the leg up. Find your core, that waistband, holding you in to your center. Where is your mind focused? Focus on your center. And then exhale the leg down. The arm comes in. Inhale, the arm reaches up to the sky for 3 backstrokes. 1, 2, and 3. Really good. So this next move is for your scapular mobility. We're going to do retraction and protraction. First, one thing to really think about is smiling your collarbones and then externally rotating from your shoulders. So what that means is if you were opening a jar with your hands, your right hand would be twisting to the right and your left hand would be twisting to the left. That's what's happening in your shoulders. And then it kind of anchors onto your upper back. So once you feel that happening, you know that you're in external rotation. And then with the hands, you're just pressing them down into the L fingers. So there's like opposite directions happening. Okay, so once we have that, let's go into shoulder blade movement. Retraction by letting the sternum sink down, and then protraction, pressing the shoulder blades apart. Retraction, protraction. Good. So the reason for this is to reprogram your nervous system and understanding how your shoulder blades move. Only when we are in this calm center can our body really learn. So it's important to have these kinds of practices to complement your higher intensity classes. All right, we'll do this for 4. Remember, the elbows don't change. We're only moving from our shoulder blades, sliding on our upper back, our rib cage. Okay, find your stability by reaching the shoulder blades down your back and then down towards your wrists. So you should be feeling the shoulder sockets right below them firing on. That means your shoulder blades are stable. Let's slide one leg back and tuck the toes and the other leg back into a full plank. You've got your shoulder blades reaching down and wide towards the shoulder sockets without protracting. And then widen your collarbones, smile the collarbones, create external rotation as you press down into your L fingers and lengthen through your whole spine. Find your focus, find your mindset. I am strong. I am strong. 2 more. I am powerful. I am powerful. Yes, downward dog. Let's press it back. Ah. And then start pedaling out the legs. Feeling the back of the legs, getting a nice hamstring stretch as you reach one heel down and then the other. Keep external rotation in the shoulders as you do this. This is so important that we keep the work in the shoulder blades. Okay, start to walk your feet forward to your hands, nice and slow. Your feet are about sits bones distance apart. Keep your head heavy. And then take your hands to the back of your
neck, and let the weight of your head sink down as you bend your knees. And then just little circles, kind of like just letting the weight draw down. And then circle your head the other way. Tiny little circles. Just let the momentum do the work. Good, and then release the hands onto the floor. Clasp your hands now behind your back and stretch your elbows and press your hands away from your hips. Feel the stretch in your chest. Lengthen your chest. Bend your knees. We're going to rise up with a nice straight back. Slowly rise up. Keep the knees bent. Hold chair pose here. Chair is a little bit of a diagonal. Now, the secret here is really to soften from your ankles. So then you're feeling more weighted in the middle of your feet, lifting your arches, rooting into the feet. Now that the ankles are soft, soften the knees, and then reach your sit bones back towards the back of your mat. Good, you're still pressing your hands away from your hips and slightly imagine pulling the hands apart. This will help create external rotation. Really good. Take one more inhale here. We're going to stay, this is a fun transition. We're going to stay weighted on the left foot. And we're just going to take the right leg back and float. Yes, we can float. We did it in tabletop. You can do it on one leg. It's perfectly safe. Just focus on one spot. And then bring your foot to the floor right down below. Bend the knees into a crescent lunge and take the arms up. Think about reaching the pubic bone towards your navel to create a lovely, lovely stretch through the hip flexor. And now inhale, straighten the legs. Keep your spine straight as you hinge from your hips, reaching the sit bones back. Take an inhale, exhale, lift. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, hinge from the hips. Exhale, lift. Inhale, sit bones back, long spine. And exhale up. Really good. Take your hands to your heart. Bend the front knee. Focus on a spot near the top of your mat. This is where chi follows yi. Make an affirmation right now. I am balanced. Weight in the standing foot. Shift slowly as you squeeze the glute to lift your leg. Draw your pubic bone towards your navel. Create a long spine, just like in tabletop. I am balanced. Bring the foot forward and together. Good. Bend from the ankles. Let's put weight into the right foot. Before we go, chi follows yi. I am balanced in my foot. And we take the left leg back. Bend the standing leg for more balance. I am balanced. Step the foot straight down and arrive into your crescent. Take the arms up. And then we want to draw the pubic bone towards the navel to get a stretch. Good. Inhale, straighten the legs as you hinge forward. Reach the sit bone straight back. Exhale to rise. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Really lovely. We're just going to rotate and find Prasarita. Take the arms wide like a T.
And we're gonna add rotation. So start with prasarita. My toes are a little bit closer in than my heels. Long spine, inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips. We've been practicing this, yeah? Hold halfway. Take your right hand down and your left arm up for a rotation. Good, keep the spine nice and long. Remember that you want to focus on your spine, creating that length. Really good. Inhale to center, stay at halfway. Exhale, rotate the other way, right arm up. Create length through your spine, reach your sit bones back. And then you want to lift the lower glutes. So the opposite of the bridge, we want it lengthen and stretch. Really good. Inhale to center. And then we'll fold all the way down. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Hands to the outside of the ankles, elbows bent. We want to focus on the spine first. So create length. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. Weight is in the feet. Now imagine that your feet want to come together. We're going to hold that, squeeze for 3, 2, 1. Relax, separate the legs a little more. All right, let's squeeze the feet towards each other for 3, 2, 1. Relax, let's separate the feet one more time, even wider. And squeeze the legs in for 3, 2, 1. Hopefully your head's closer to the ground. If you want to go for a handstand or headstand, I'm going to teach that too. Otherwise, you can just hang out. So tripod, we are going to put the hands in shoulder distance apart. And then you want to find the top of your head where it's nice and grounded. Now, if this is new for you, please use a wall. Otherwise, see if you can just get the knees to the elbows and find your spine, your hips over your shoulders. If you're in your spine, you can start to feel the core helping you. Stay for one more breath wherever you are. Remember to live from the spine. I have balance. I am balanced. And then gently take the legs out wide where they were before. Take the hands out to the edges and inhale to rise up with a flat back. Wasn't that fun? You are so balanced. It's amazing. We're going to return to the front, hands to the heart. Now, before we lift off, remember the affirmation. I am balanced. Shift forward into the standing foot and then squeeze the glute to lift the leg. Draw your pubic bone towards your navel. You just balance on your head. You can balance on your foot. I am powerful. One more breath here. I am powerful. Push through the foot. Now, bring the back foot forward. Come into chair. Take one inhale here. Take the arms back, palms facing down, airplane arms. And then inhale to reach up. Take the palms together, press the pinkies in. Keep the ribs back. Those low ribs stay back just like when we were on the floor. And exhale, hinge the hips, diving down. Uttanasana. Inhale, bend the knees, halfway lift, flat back. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the legs back into plank. Find your shoulder blades reaching down towards your shoulder sockets. And then we're going to do 2 chaturanga push-ups. You can always lower the knees, but this is only 2. I think we can do 1 at least, right? Let's keep the shoulder blades down the back. Here we go. Bend the elbows, chest wide, open, and then push up straight.
One more time. Keep the chest broad. Elbows squeeze, chest open, push. Really good. Now slowly lower for 3, 2, chest open, 1. We've arrived. We're going to come into Sphinx, elbows under the shoulders. Press your pubic bone forward towards your navel. Use your glutes to squeeze. So we've done a lot of work in our spine today, balancing, creating awareness. This is the final pose for your spine. It's extension. So think about lengthening from your sit bones between your feet and then up through the crown of your head. Notice that the low ribs want to flare. Draw them back. Pubic bone towards navel. And then shoulder blades. Reach down and wide. Create awareness in your spine as you create length even more. I am strong. Press down into the elbows. Reach those shoulder blades down even more. Broaden your collarbones. Smile the collarbones. One more breath. Inhale. I am open. And exhale. Slowly come all the way down. Onto your forehead. And then from here, we're going to take football goalpost arms, elbows. Start with your left leg, just going back behind your right leg. Stack your hips. Keep your shoulders flat. Stacking the hips will create a twist. One more breath here. Think about lengthening from your front body to your sternum. And then switch. Bring your right foot behind your left. Stack your hips. Lengthen from the front of your hips to your sternum. And then gently take a moment to find stillness. Keep your forehead down, massaging your third eye. If you prefer, you can also take hands under your forehead. And just feel what it's like to have your body in a straight position. This is how we become aware of our body and our imbalances. Just taking any notes of if one side is more weighted. One side of the hips, right? What the hip bones, are they even? And if one side is down or heavier, notice if your ribs are even. And practice and see if you can let go of your thoughts, to quiet your mind and listen to a deeper voice of intuition, of a channel.
Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And gently make your way up to seated. All right. So this is now the shadow work. We were hopefully able to quiet the mind at the end. So right away, if there's any thoughts that entered while you were in that meditation, go ahead and just write them down. You don't need to figure them out. You don't need to make sense of it. Just anything that came up for you, write that down. And then I'll have some questions too that we'll answer. And the reasoning for the journal of this is so we can start to develop our intuition. If this is new, if you didn't hear anything, don't worry about it. You can listen to your intuition right now too. Today is a very interesting day. It's inauguration, so I think that it's important to take in anything that's coming up during dramatic times in life. We'll just do this for about 1 more minute. Just whatever came to your mind. You don't have to remember every detail. Okay, so for tonight's shadow work, so let me talk a little bit about what shadow work is. Shadow work is if there is negative energy or anything that is coming up for you at this time, then that is something you want to write about. But, you know, when you're in that awareness, when you realize that it's coming up, it can be any challenges that you're facing personally. It can be relationships that you're unhappy with that you want to figure out, like what it is you want from the relationships, whatever it is, situations of the world, you name it, you just write it down. It's your journal. No one's going to look at it. It's for you to process your own emotions. So the question, okay, regarding that, right? Like if it's a negative energy, the question then is, how do I want to feel about this situation? We're trying to manifest here. This is how manifestation works. How do I want to feel about this situation of the world or relationship or personal problem? Okay, so I won't leave time for you to necessarily answer the whole thing, but just write the question down and then you'll be able to answer this on your own, because sometimes you need like an hour. Sometimes that's like, it's a process. So that's the first question. How do I want to feel about this situation? And then number 2 is, where am I responsible for feeling this way about the situation? Feeling the negative way about it, right? Or the disempowered way. because we're working towards an empowered mentality. So we have to first understand that we are responsible for our feelings. That's the first step in becoming empowered. So where am I responsible for feeling this way? Why did I choose to feel negatively? Or why have I put myself in a position that I will now feel negative, right? There's so much to uncover. Where am I responsible? And then the third one, the last one here, is do I deserve? Right? What do I deserve, right? Do I deserve? Do I deserve to feel peace or happy or empowered about this situation? Do I deserve to feel empowered? So this can be so deep, I'm telling you. This can become like, you think it's a simple question and then you realize you can turn this into something huge, transformative for your life. So again, the first one is what is the situation? I want to name it, something that's coming up for us today in the moment. And the first question is, how do I want to feel about it? Number two, where am I responsible for feeling this way, right, about the situation at hand? And then number three, do I deserve to feel empowered, or do I deserve to feel like what number one is asking? How do I want to feel, right? Because that's even more deeper, right? When you're like, why do I choose to be negative about these things all the time? And then you have to ask, if I'm choosing my negativity, then I must somehow think I deserve that. So this is shadow work. This is the magic. So I really hope that this class resonated with you. And again, please leave a comment if there was something that you gained from this. I am going to continue to do these kinds of classes for healing, for manifestation, for spiritual growth. This is it. It's so simple, but yet it can be heavy. So just trust the process. All right. Thank you so much, from my heart to yours. Thank you so much, Bree. Love, love, love.